Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast. What's up, guys? Welcome back as we go and delve into our usual season review. As you should know and should be able to see, we'll be discussing the 4 releases of last year, focusing on the ones that followed us into the new year. With me today to discuss some of the frontrunners of the full season is Daniel. How are you doing? What's good?
Yo, what's going on, people? Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Rajal?
I'm good. I'm kind of excited for this one. I'm not gonna lie. It was weird because I didn't think we were gonna get to do the full season because of how just everything was looking. But I'm happy to be here to discuss some of the anime with you.
Got there in the end. And if you're watching, comment below with your favorite show from the full season, and let us know what you liked as well.
Yeah, that's very important. We want to see if yours kind of aligned with what we enjoyed as usual. I did want to start off with just saying, did it feel a bit odd to you this season that some of last year's full releases kind of followed us into the new year and the winter season?
I think I actually like most of the shows that have come into 2024 are good. So, I would say no. I'm actually happy that they weren't just 12 episodes. They're actually a bit longer because I feel I don't mind 12 episode series, but when it's 24, it's always a bit nicer, and it feels you get a lot more of the story in your, which is especially more important. I feel for the first season, you want to get as much as you want, as much as you can get off the story before you can decide if you want to keep going or not.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed just the amount of depth we've been able to go with certain characters and storylines and stuff like that. And it feels like it wasn't just a seasonal kind of rush to complete and condense a storyline as rapidly and as quickly as possible. It really allowed some of the series we're going to talk about today to really breathe and show off some of what makes the series special. As we delve into this discussion, I'm going to start off with the first anime. It's one that has been mentioned a couple of times on multiple, on the update, on some of our other discussions, and that is the Apothecary Diaries. Even though I always mispronounce it, but it is what it is. And
Yes,
Japanese light novel, now anime, and we followed the adventures of Moi Moi or
Mao Mao.
Mao Mao. Appreciate that. As she's kidnapped by bandits and sold to Imperial Palace, where her knowledge and deduction skills presents her with a load of opportunities that she sometimes is happy to take on, and other times she does not. Where she kind of wants to delve deeper into her love of poisoning herself, which is very unique. I want to first ask, what did you think of our protagonist? What do you think of her as a character? What made her special to you? What made her enjoyable to watch?
So I'll preface my comments with this series is I was already aware because I read the manga for it, which adapts the light novel, obviously. So I kind of already knew what I was getting into the series. I was very excited for the anime, but Mao Mao, she's just great. She's awesome, very funny. I love how inquisitive and smart she is, street smart as well, which is a nice change. Um, and I think I also respect how she understands her place in the world. She doesn't really feel entitled, and I think she's perfect for a series like this, especially with the politics of the inner palace. You really need to navigate those situations carefully, and I feel like you understand that she knows the type of situation she is, and that's why I never feel like the way she acts is over the top or strange. It's very realistic and enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like she never oversteps, and it's crazy because of how we are presented with her, and we know the amount of knowledge she has, and the amount of, she can really sometimes, if she wanted to, flex and show off and really put certain people in their place, per se, but she never does that. And it seems like she's also somewhat also, like, it's not only she doesn't do it, she's very unwilling to do it. Like, she knows she can do it. Like, she would, like, in her head, she would have that dialogue where she's like, okay, I could, but I'm not going to say anything. I could do this, but I'm not going to. And which is very refreshing and very new, especially in kind of most animes you get. You always have people trying to forcibly climb a ladder or get improve. She's never forcing herself into places she needs to be in. She downplays her ability. Other people see it in the little moments and say, "Raw, that person is special. Like, we need, like, she's hiding. There's more to her," and that kind of showcases in her ability to, like, quickly climb the ranks, becoming a lady in waiting and a taste tester. And taste tester is one of the most foul jobs. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I firstly, but
Yeah.
it's free food, but that is crazy. Would you do it? And do you think the lady in waiting should do it? Because I don't think the lady in waiting, that's a position, especially what we've kind of come to see. These are very articulate, smart, well rounded women who have a lot of talent. But why is one of them a taste tester?
I think it's just one of the roles because at the end of the day, they're supposed to serve the concubine, and it's very important because of the how it is. It's very competitive. People will do anything to get a leg up on each other. So it's very important that they have mechanisms in place to protect each other, which is unfortunately the taste tester's job. And it's not a pleasant job at all, but I understand why you'd probably want your most trusted um, individuals. And I think they even say like taste testers, the job that most people, if you're a lady in waiting, that's the one thing you don't really want to be saddled with. But I mean, it has to be done.
It does. It does. I want to know your favorite storyline and investigative kind of moment in the series, because we do have quite a few throughout the series where she's had to, or multiple people had to use deductive reasoning, investigation skills, good kind of rational thinking, and being just very self-aware to be able to figure out what's going on, especially, as you said, the political atmosphere that they're in, whereas that there's a lot happening all at once. What was your favorite kind of storyline or investigation?
Ooh.
It's a tough
So
one.
I think yeah, there's a lot I like, but I'll go with when she went back to when she got to go out for a day back to where she lives in the pleasure district, and the young girl came up to her to because her older sister, who was a what's it? She was working in the pleasure hall as a like what's it? A prostitute. She and a client had fallen ill because of poison, and just figuring out how the lady had actually intentionally poisoned the guy because he has sort of a bad history with the two different layers of the drink, where you had I think the top layer which had the poison in it, and then the bottom layer which was safe to drink. I thought that was really clever the way they figured that out, especially with the straw as well. And then yeah, and it kind of reflected how there's no difference for her being outside the pleasure the palace and being in the pleasure district. It's the same thing, just different color of paint. And this kind of was just showing the reality of the world. It's just like darkness everywhere.
I'm not gonna lie, that was an elite storyline. That was super elite, because it was one of those when, even after she had found out what's going on, She's like, there's also still no reason for me to expose the reality of the truth because whatever's happened has already happened in that line, which is like already crazy kind of forward thinking by somebody of such a young age. And I super agree with what you said about how the politics of the what's it called, the inner
palace.
That's the one, in the palace, as well as everything that's happening in the pleasure halls and stuff. It's the same thing. It's the same mind games. It's the same people sneaking around each other's backs. It's the same conversations. It's just the status is slightly different. That is legit all, and it just shows how much her growing up in that environment is weird because you wouldn't think about it that way. Her growing up in that environment really has helped her to traverse the political world of the inner palace. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy.
What about you then?
That for me, I had two, but one was more emotionally. The first one was more emotionally, like it was emotional attachment. It just gave me joy to see her speak up and be kind of aggressive in her. It was the first time she was like forceful. But I'm gonna.
Okay. Yeah,
I think you know.
Yeah.
So I have to say this one then. So obviously, it's one of the other. I forgot what it's not one of the Jinshi. One of I lied. Is that? No, it's Lady Luha. That's it. Is it Rifa?
Yeah.
Okay, Rifa. She's sick, and this is after the period of time when they've already found out, or she's found out that the makeup powder is what's causing the baby the sickness, and has already killed the baby. Listen. Bro, they don't. Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. It had me vexed. It absolutely had me aggressed. I was like, you want to carry on putting on this powder that is beauty over health is a crazy, crazy thing, because you guys know now that this powder is causing people sickness, but you carry on. And obviously, the emperor himself, actually, I think it was the emperor, yes, he asked for Momo to go and look after one of the ladies. And she did. When she goes, she sees that one of her concubines are still putting the powder on her face while she's sick in bed. Oh
yeah,
my!
But she needs to look. She needs to look nice, man. What kind of nonsense is that, man?
Bro, it's the most backwards thing I've ever seen. And Moimo was not having it. She was not. This is the time when I was like, yes, be in your bag. Be in your bag, sis. She slapped. She said,
yeah, man.
One hand, and was patting them all. She said, what is wrong with you guys? Are you foolish? Are you dumb? Are you silly? It's crazy because their group are one of those people or groups that have been very critical in regards to their external reaction when she's around and when other people are around. So just to see them all just shut up and be quiet and now follow her lead because they know and understand, you know what, especially in this situation, she is the only one who's going to make this Our Lady recover. And I think that was not only the most significant part for me. I think the most significant part was how she was not only able to heal and improve her health, but also her mental health after losing the child, after like giving up on life, and was basically happy or content to just sit there and die. Like, she gave her a reason to live, gave her a reason to continue, and I think that was beautiful. And I love that whole storyline. I'm sad that they actually had to lose a baby just because you don't listen. Oh my days, because you don't listen. I don't know if you liked that storyline as well.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Like, it's such a, and especially because it's come so early. It was really nice and showed all the different sides of her. You know, the medical prowess, her assertiveness. A lot of times you don't really get these characters or main characters who are assertive, but because she was tolerating it up until the point where it was infringing on the medical practice, and that's when she was like, "Nah, that's out of line."
Yeah, so next question that I have on my mind is definitely a big one because we didn't only just follow one character. There was a lot of a wider cast that really made this series and this show very memorable and entertaining, and really gave real deep depth to the story. And I want to know which one, or maybe two, or maybe three, if you can't decide, of the wider cast were your favorites.
So her boss, Gyo Cuckoo, she's just hilarious, very heartwarming, and I love the way she teases Jinchi when it comes to him falling over Mao Mao. But yeah, she's just really cool. She's just super laid back, doesn't take herself too seriously, knows when to demand her respect. But yeah, I like her. And then Mao Mao's friend, who's in the palace as well, Xiao. I just find her really like adorable. And she does good vibes, and I always like to see her and Mama interact because it's the I think she's like her one of her actual friends that she has. And she doesn't have too many of those in the palace. She's cool with the other guys, but I feel like that's her actual friend.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They have a great kind of mutual relationships. Whereas when some of the other relationships, is like uh, just because of the circumstance that
Yeah.
is there, I mean, that Mao Mao kind of chooses to be in this one. For me, I think Jinshi is definitely somebody that hard carries and really contributes to the comedic aspects of, especially with their relationship, but all round. I love how all the girls in the series just love him off. I love I love how in any situation where he's even like they try to make him less physically attractive, but his attraction still shines through and everybody's confused. Like is just very entertaining to me, especially even towards like the last couple episodes. uh I think secondly, Rishu, one of the uh other lady, the youngest lady in waiting, and Osho Rifa, and I think she was the Rifa, the in the palace, one of the, I think the second consort of the emperor. She was very cool to me. I loved her red hair as well, her blue hair as well. But I think that anytime she was about, you just really knew what an inner court lady, like their worth, their value, what kind of influence they carried, and she kind of personified that in all aspects. Um, Coming to the end of this uh, section, I want to ask: did the series kind of live up to the light novel or manga for you?
Oh yeah, succeeded it, man. Like in terms of adaptation, I didn't think it was. I never dreamed it could have been as good as it's been. I feel like when we got the visual, I was like, yeah, I could already tell it's going to be good, and it's just delivered. So, as a manga reader, I'm very pleased because it just means that future seasons will be of a high or similar level of quality. So, yeah, I won.
That's what we love to hear. That's what I love to hear. I'm as a only anime viewer, I say it was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm excited for what is to come next. Moving on to the second anime we're going to be discussing, Shangri-La Frontier. I feel like it's a bit on theme as I've kind of, poured myself more into a little bit of gaming when I can. It's just
Mhm.
cool. I think it's mainly because of this series that, I was like, mate, Ray loves the game so much. Maybe I can also love it. You know what I mean? You
Okay.
What impressed you about this series?
Again, this is another series that I've read before, So really, I was just looking to see how they adapted it. But when I first read it, I think what impressed me was just the depth of the world that they've created. Obviously, they're in the video game, but like it was just really rich, and there's so many details that I don't feel like I've seen before. I've never watched Sword Art Online, but I feel like this is easily the better video game diving into a video game series. I think this is just your standard, I feel like this does I like I think the characters as well. So like us Sunraku, he's just a straight shooter. I like his gimmick of he likes to play trash games. So then now he's playing a really good game. He has that extra appreciation for it. I like Emil, the rabbit he finds, the combat as well, the tricks where he's trying to figure out things, the teamwork in like big battles. But yeah, there's just a lot of great things to come. Like it only gets better.
Man said it only gets better. How? I've
I
been,
can't say, but you'll
bro.
see.
I've been impressed with this. I've been so impressed with it. I feel like it's not gimmicky. It's, there's a lot of animes that, they'll, especially when it comes to animes based on video games or VR experience, that kind of thing, outer world kind of fantasy. They go with the cliche based stories on friendships and certain relationships, or a big baddie that is trying to manipulate and control a game, so on. But this one is straight to the point. Is a boy who loves playing video games, a boy who's very passionate about playing trash games, and when he gets the opportunity to enjoy a game changer in their universe, top tier game, he is enamored, and you can really like feel that energy every time he's in that world, even when he's out of that world. When we get to see him some of the day-to-day stuff, and he's still reading a magazine or something. So I'm impressed just by that alone, that it didn't stick to the basic formulas, but really kind of looked at. I feel like it was one of the first animes I've watched where it's really delved kind of deep into like game mechanics, and the conversations always in game is not about kind of trying to make you forget it's a game, but is always kind of trying to indicate these are the elements of this game, and this is not another world that we're trying to make you forget. Oh, are we in a game now? No, we're in a game, and these are the mechanics, and this is what happens when you do this, and these are the PvP stuff, and it's very, very impressive and enjoyable. Something I would highly kind of recommend. Do you think What do you think it does kind of differently from other fantasy kind of world created games that you kind of picked up on?
Well, I guess it doesn't focus on like dumb fan service stuff. I don't feel like I feel every victory is earned. Sometimes you get like some, oh yeah, he gets a random power up. No, I feel like in this series he works very hard to, or you can understand the strategy that he employs because of his experience with other games. Um, and I also like the banter that he has with like his friend, with the pencil knight, and then the other guy Katso. I think there's a really good bond. Not to say other series don't have this, but I really like. I feel like that's the kind of banter I've seen that I've had with other people as well. So that's something that I liked from the series.
I need to know what is one of your kind of favorite in-game elements of the series, because I'll tell you mine. Mine is the fact that the NPC. If you're listening, this is a slight spoiler if you haven't watched it all, so I'm just gonna just warn you. The NPC, especially likes of Emil, when they die forever, which is
Mm.
crazy. Which when that first kind of came out, it kind of gave me like a new appreciation for the fact that we have this NPC character that's following us about, and it always feels like it's a part of the team. But now it is, because bro, that's a 1-on-1. They don't just spawn around on every level. I really enjoyed that. What about you?
I like the concept of these unique monsters, which are really difficult to beat, and it's just like you have to. Once you beat them, they're gone forever, and I just think it's really cool. And I like the unique scenarios too, like the Vorpal Soul, all that stuff. Yeah, that's super interesting. We're fighting the well, where I left off, they were fighting Wizamon, and that's a great fight right there.
It's elite fight. When you get back off of your break and you delve back into you're gonna be eating good, because when I tell you it's clean, every Sunday I'm there. I'm ready to go. I want to lastly ask: have you ever been invested in a game like that, in that kind of level where it's kind of taken over a part of your section of your life?
Mm, I think only when I first got like Pokemon Black, I played it for like maybe like 8 hours, because it was my birthday. I got paid for like 8 hours because I think it was so different to the last Pokemon game I played. I really liked the um tweaks and improvements they made to the game, like the moving sprites, the little 3D angles they added in. Like still my favorite Pokemon game to this day. But yeah, that's probably the only game.
For me, I would say probably FIFA in its prime time, when I think that took over my life. When I was in my prime years for FIFA, I I could spend a whole weekend just playing it, and I'll just come down for food and water and to use the toilet. I think another thing I want to mention is I do like you see the relationship with his family, and how
Yeah,
like
that's nice.
that is
They
so
all do have
sweet.
they all have their own thing.
Legit, it's the most adorable thing I've ever seen. Like, they all have, like you said, their own passions and stuff, but there's a agreed time slot where everybody knows, hey, we're sitting around the table and we're eating and we're talking and we're gonna enjoy each other's company. And I know the mum was making sure that happens every whenever it's scheduled, she makes sure it happens. But I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Is there any last things you want to mention about this series before we press on?
Nah, I think if you're looking for a good fantasy series, you found it. And Apple Vision Pro people, you've got your blueprint.
For real. Hey, don't let them see this. Don't let them hear this, man. Don't let them find this. It'll be over.
People will be missing their jobs because of yeah, it's crazy.
Actually, will be. Moving on to the next anime, Undead, Unluck, another adaptation. This show, I'll just want to straight away, doesn't pull his punches. Jumping when we jump straight into it, we're already dealing with a scenario where a girl, Fuku, is her unfortunate abilities has driven her to the place where she wants to take her own life, which is already just a crazy start to uh, anime. I do want to like let you kind of take control of this one, because I want to first ask you: does it live true as an adaptation? Is it well done? Does it keep the standard as you read it?
Yeah, man. I think it's David Production who do this adaptation, and yeah, man, I already know about their quality, and they brought the quality again. Exceptional stuff all around. Really opening endings. I really enjoy what they're doing from a manga reader standpoint. It's just like get to refresh the earlier storylines, and you kind of remember how good the series is when you first start it.
I think the thing that confuses me is the relationship dynamic between uh, Andy and Unluck. Because
Fuko.
yeah, Fuka, yeah. When it first starts, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, there's a disdain for Andy.
Yeah.
but there's also a little bit of curiosity on the side of Fuko's side, where she's, because obviously her dream kind of fantasy, like that she's kind of wants to live out, that she's read about her whole life via her novels and her mangas and whatever. You see that, there's somebody who's not gonna perish as soon as I touch them. But I'm also conflicted because I'm like, what is happening? Like, it's like a blurred line, and I'm always lost. Does it kind of get cleared up?
I'll say yes, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. I respect it. I do respect it.
I would like to elaborate, but I'd rather talk about it once you kind of see where it is, because I mean, to me, it's kind of more obvious, but that's only because I've got the hindsight, so I don't want to influence your views.
Cool. I'm kind of excited. I'm actually more excited because I did tell you when I first watched this show that, especially the first couple of episodes, I just thought it was I wasn't really enjoying it because I thought it was very kind of typical and, following the same patterns that I'm used to in regards to animes of this ilk. But when we start to go and delve into the Union stuff and their mission and Ragnarok and the implications of failing these missions, bro, like these implications are serious.
Yep.
Absolute serious. I would leave. I would leave the Union. I'm so sorry. This is too much because I can't. When I can't be doing stuff that has this kind of gravity, and the results of which my actions can kind of lead to mass change in a whole universe, not even just the world, a universe. What do you kind of think of how well that they kind of manage their scale of it, but still making sure that we are not kind of overwhelmed, but we're still able to enjoy the simplicity of like the relationships between the characters? Because sometimes some series can get lost in the gravity of everything that's happening because of the scale of it. And this one, it doesn't. It never does.
Yeah, I think because of the way they started to introduce the wider cast, so obviously we had Fuko and Andy, then they went on the mission with Shen, who we already met before with Void, but he passed away because they killed him. So that's introducing him to the first people in the Union. Then they gave us Top, and with the rest of the Union guys, got some stuff with and then they kind of gave us a bit of the plot to give us a better idea of why they're doing this. Get to see a bit from what's her name? Jules. Get to see her power, like her dominance as the leader. Then we get to see stuff from Tatiana. So they were just slowly letting the main two interact with different members so we can get a bit of their personality and also learn more about Fuko and Andy. So yeah, I think they've kind of done this thing where they've made us explore with a new person whilst advancing the story. So that's why it doesn't feel like it's too much at once.
I think that you explained that exceptionally. I can't lie to you. And I definitely agree with every word you said. Like there's never a point when you're watching it and it's like, oh, there's a lot going on. But in hindsight, especially when you have the perspective of being, caught up, you look at it and it's like, bro, there's a lot happening. There's actually a lot. I do want to know who you think has the saddest storyline in regards to the implications of their superpowers.
I don't know. I don't really like power scaling trauma because, like, to be honest, they're all pretty awful. I mean, I think I'd probably. I mean, yeah, yeah, they're all pretty. Okay, I'd probably actually go with Fuko because, like, if she didn't meet Andy, she was just gonna, off herself. And like basically her whole life had been in isolation because she was scared of touching people. Every person she loves dies because of her dumb power. I mean, Tatiana's is just, I don't know, brutal as well, to be honest. I mean, like, kill your parents, you don't even know what happens. I mean, like, they're like, I don't know, they like killing parents in this series. I
They
mean, I think
love it.
this is a prerequisite for joining the union. Oh, you didn't kill your parents yet, you can't join us, man. Like, it's crazy, man. Even Chikara, man, that one is sad as well.
It's crazy. It's
These
like a
guys, these
Uncle
truck
Ben moment,
drivers,
isn't it?
man, I'm telling you.
It's like, have you had your Uncle Ben moment? Have you had it yet? If you
They've
haven't,
all had it with bonuses too, man.
too much, actually too much. Yeah, Chikara's one is just crazy. Like, bro was looking at his parents. Man said, "Why are you guys not moving?"
Fam.
I was like, "What is happening? It's crazy." It's like he was. That hurt, and then like he said, it's good. It's good how you put it. You know, the power scale trauma. All of them are bad. I think the one that kind of probably hit me most story wise is probably Tatiana, and I think that's because we never actually saw her face before, so you just never knew, or I never knew it was like a young girl in that bodysuit. You know what I mean? So when I get to see that, and then I'm seeing the trauma, I'm seeing the budding friendship she had with Fuko, and how, you know, she's just happy for even someone to touch her robotic arm, like everything that, and then what we later get to, which we might as well discuss now, which is a real addition to this series, a big twist, Billy's betrayal.
Yeah, so they got to that now.
Yep, bro.
Yeah, man, that spun me when I read it too. It's nasty. I feel bad for her. That was like her dad, basically. Well, replacement dad.
Yeah, that was some nasty work, and the time he did it was very inappropriate. I don't think there's an appropriate time to do it, but that time was the worst. Was the absolute worst. I was looking, I was like, wow, oh my days. And that kind of led to the, obviously, consequences of that. The battle they had, I'm going to guess, is the first of many. And the significance of that battle is we get the time loop reveal, which is crazy.
Yep.
Bro, you know, when I was watching that, I was like, this show, from where it started in my head to where it is now, it finished me.
Yeah, man. It takes a while to get started, but this is where, like, it's really, now you're really into, like, it's only gonna be, I don't know if they're gonna get to like a lot of the super duper good stuff, but like it's only up from here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely excited to watch it, and I hope you guys are also excited. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add about the series before we move on to the last one.
No, but it's very inappropriate. But anytime I see that name, anytime I see Tatiana, I think of that stupid Blueface song, man.
Don't kill me.
I'm sorry.
Hey, bro, you know what? I'm going to start thinking that every time now. And everybody who's listening to this is going to start thinking about that Blueface song every time.
Yeah. Don't arrest me. It's not because of the character, it's just because of the name. The amount of times I heard that song, it's
one of the most overplayed songs. Oh my days. That's a good one though. That made my day, I can't lie to you. Oh my days. Moving on to the last one. Last and definitely not least, Firefighter Daigo, Rescuer in Orange. You made me watch this without realizing you made me watch this. Because
did I?
Yes, you didn't realize it, but you did. I saw that you were watching this, and it was early on when I was picking what I'm going to watch for that season. And I was like, okay. And it was 2 to 3 episodes had already gone by. And I was like, wait, Daniel is still watching this in a timely fashion. I will be picking this up. So I do appreciate it. Where to start? Being a firefighter, do you think this series does a good job in showing how difficult and hard it is to put on that suit and go into the world and face these crazy situations.
Yeah, the training they have to do is crazy. So I mean, I think, you know, in terms of like my perception of the emergency services, obviously, I know because I've worked in the medical field, I know how serious that is in terms of the work they have to do. Not so much on the police side, but I know it's kind of rough. But I always thought firefighting was not as I wouldn't say not as deep, but like, you know, more straightforward. But it's definitely not like the breadth of things that these guys have to do and expected to do. I don't even feel like firefighter does their title justice, because they do way more than just doing that. It's kind of like an all-round fighter kind of thing, because they're doing so many things. And yeah, like, it's a really, really good insight into like what they have to do to be the best at their job.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like you said, it is crazy how well-rounded these individuals have to be, because they have to show a sense of like fortitude and like unwavering, uh, just unwavering kind of faith in front of any situations, because they know that the people who are in any dire situations are looking at them, and they're their hope. And when they see them, they're like, you have to be the picture of, you know, strength and that pillar if somebody's gonna feel like, oh, I'm gonna survive this moment, this situation. And I think it does a great job just to um, show off, you know, how much these individuals have to go through to kind of build that inner strength, how much they have to train, rely on each other, they dedicate themselves to just, you know, trying to reach a form of perfection that's probably they know and everybody else know you can't reach, but they have to get there because it's for the sake of other people. And I think when you're doing stuff for the sake of other people and to save their lives, you know, it's like, I have to do everything in my powers. And it just shows you, like we saw early on, how tough the recruitment training was. And you would think that the recruiters hated the people, that the students, but it's not hate. It's
You know,
it's it's how much, like, I have to show you how hard this is going to be. I have to, like, I really have to, you want to be harder than anything you're going to face out there, which is like what I was thinking. And we got introduced to three special individuals that I think is important we discuss. Firstly, Daigo, the man himself, Mr. Redemption,
mm,
Mr.
insane.
Mr. Hey,
Insane.
what do you think about him? Like, what kind of speaks to you when you see him on screen?
I think he's probably the most. I won't say he's unrealistic, but that drive is just so super. Him and Shin, to be honest, very unnatural drive. Dedicated to saving the person. Um, and I guess he's just a very earnest guy. You know, very earnest, straight shooter. Doesn't like playing around, and he has a job that he wants to do. He wants to get rid of the guilt. He's shouldering that guilt, and he's doing what he feels is necessary to keep on living. That's what he wants to do.
I I want to ask you a really tough question, because this is a one that I don't even know how to answer myself, and I've gone kind of both ways with his character. Do you think he shouldn't shoulder all that responsibility in the way that he has? Because I've also thought maybe, no, not even maybe, definite that it has not. Obviously, it has driven him and it has pushed him and has made sure he has a sole focus. Uh, but I don't think he needed that much shouldering of that much pain and that much suffering to push him there. I think he already had the work ethic, he already had the talent. But on the other hand, I am reminded how, especially the special moments in these, in these kind of 2 rescues that he's done early on. And it's, if it wasn't for how diligent he's been through his whole life, like, one man would not have the function of his arm, and there'll be twins not born.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you stand, because I'm kind of in between.
I mean, for me, I don't think it does him any good. But I mean, obviously, it's hard to say that when you have the evidence that goes against it. But he's kind of quite young in his career. It'll probably work for now, but I don't know how it'd work 10 years down the line if he still has the same approach. You can't have that mindset forever. That's just my view. It's just gonna burn you out eventually.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's one of those things that will, like, it will affect his ability to create meaningful relationships in his life. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, reality is, like, right now his focus is being a firefighter, but reality is you're not going to be a firefighter forever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's other sides of your character they have to develop, and at the moment he's very one-sided. He's very soul focused, which is actually a good, like you said, we always said, it's a good attribute to have. But long term, it's not something that you can, like you said, carry on forever. Do you think he's going to be the greatest of all time when it comes to firefighters? Because, bro, he's looking like the MVP.
Do you think he's the MVP?
Do you think he's going to be the greatest of all time in firefighters? Do you think he's going to be the GOAT?
I mean, they're building him up to be. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think he will, because he's just unnaturally. I don't know, because Shin is kind of catching him, but I don't know. I'm gonna be real though. I did kind of drop this show, so I've
Did
stopped
you?
at like episode 13. Yeah.
You dropped it. Why did you? Okay, I'm gonna ask you when we finish why you dropped it. But
Okay.
let's quickly go through the other character, Shun.
He's a cool dude, man.
That's what I want to say. Just somebody who, he feels like a real person. You know what I mean? Feels like a real person. Flawed, brave, motivated, funny, kind, makes mistakes, but is always happy to keep growing and keep getting better, and always looks outside of himself. And he's somebody that you can really respect. And I think he's been very important because he balances out Daigo. He balances him out. I think he's the person that will kind of break Daigo out of the mentality he has, and really shift him and change him for the better. What has impressed you about Shun?
I think Daigo checked him one time, and since then he's just like, yeah, I need to pattern up, man. And he did. He's dedicated, and it, obviously, because although his reason of being a firefighter is kind of one would say dumb because it's for a girl. I mean, he took it seriously, and he's not just like half-assing it. So I mean, I respect the conviction, because most people would see the training and probably would have quit, but he completed the training and he's doing the job, and he's going above and beyond, sometimes to the detriment of his own health, which is very foolish. But I get what he's about, but
he's a
you should be
funny
protecting
guy.
yourself.
He actually should be. I do rate that he committed to this line of life based on a girl that he had no contracted agreement that there'll be anything happening beyond anything. So he decided just to be a firefighter based on the idea and the concept.
Yeah, he's just wild.
And speaking of the girl, Yuki, breaking gender barriers, showing her strength. Yuki is probably one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, she was the person I enjoyed the most.
100% refreshing, isn't it?
I like her. She's very serious. I And I like how she didn't use the. I mean, like, even though the incident still affects her on the emotional level, because I mean, it's very hard for it to not, especially with how young she is. She doesn't. She didn't let it define her. She used it to make her stronger, and it's like part of her drive to do what she does, so people don't experience the same thing that happened to her. So I respect her for that, and she doesn't care about, oh yeah, I'm a woman. No, it's not an excuse. Like, there's ways I can contribute, and I can contribute the same as the guys. And she shows, even I think she shows better leadership and control, calmness than the other two. When we saw them working together in the house, for example, that was a good showcase.
Yeah, she's very much very well balanced. That's what I said. And it kind of helps her in all situations, and it's good to have somebody like that, especially given the job. Like, you're a firefighter, you have to be well balanced, and makes quick, sharp, intuitive decisions. Well motivated, no excuses. Like, she is very special, very special. Uh, Before we get to the end of this, I want to say, do you think, given that this is an animated show, that at some points, like, it's supposed to be, I guess, a show that you want to enjoy a lot, do you think there was too much dramatic moments? So, like, because there were some moments when I like, you guys were doing too much here. I'm not going to like, and I'm not even
Yes.
preaching on the like actual rescue scenes. It's the other scenes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, for me, there's a couple of moments where I'm just like, the decision making is just taking me out. Um, like I think there was this one scene where Daigo, he's helping to save this grandmother and a granddaughter who are trapped in the room with the rising water level, and Shun, to his detriment, uses like his mask that he's not even supposed to be using as an oxygen mask. Um, and then he holds down this cloth so the water can like start to go down. And he does it for so long, even though his oxygen runs out, like he's still doing it and he passes out. And I'm just like, bro, that's the quick way. You can't be dying for this, man. Like, I don't know. I just think personal well-being is something that they have emphasized to him before.
Mm.
So it kind of just takes me out when you don't really learn your lesson, and I'm not going to be cheering for you. I'm not going to cheer watch you kill yourself because you're trying to save people. That's dumb. That's not a good message to send to people. You have to be, especially when you're working in emergency services, you have to actually be rational and be careful about yourself as well. It's not just because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't be trusted to look after people. Sorry, man.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Shun he's straight trying to die a hero. He wants the hero's death. Sometimes that's what it's looking like. Like, you have to be very careful out there. I agree as well, and I think there was other moments in the show that I just feel like it was just a lot, and it was a lot in terms of, like, there is kind of unnecessarily element of why we have to see this, or they have to go to this extent, or it has to be this dramatic, stuff like that, and that kind of also took me out. Lastly, why did you stop watching this? This is very important because the people need to hear this. I need to hear this because what, I end this episode, and I stop watching it. Is that what's gonna happen?
No, I mean, if you're still enjoying it, I think you should still watch it. I just think for me, it became kind of a chore to watch, and I wasn't really. It was kind of a thing where when it came out, I was like, "Oh, I have to watch this," and then I realized, no, I don't. I watched like 12 episodes, and I was like, I don't really feel excited by the show anymore. So I don't think it's bad. I just lost interest. That's just the reality of it.
I see. I think I'll continue to watch it for the moment. I want to see how things play out, and I also want to tell you if you probably made the right decision towards the end of it. But yeah, what was your overall experience of the full season?
Yeah, from what I watched, I think it's a good show. Good to see the different stuff that firefighters do. I do know they're in a special squad, so that's probably why the training's a bit more intense. But I did like to see the different scenarios they were in, and then the tension as well. But yeah, I think it was a decent show. I wouldn't say it was one of the best I watched during the fall, but it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Uh, it was very different for anything I was watching as well at the time. I think that always makes a show more kind of entertaining or intriguing when it's polar opposite to the mass anime that you're kind of consuming at the time. So yeah, like I said, I'll continue to watch all the animes that we've discussed today on until they end. They'll be ending soon. I think in the next three
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks. So we don't have
Yep.
long. We'll see if we do an episode discussing the end if anything crazy happens. Maybe for Undead Unluck because that's a very good series or something like that. But yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
will be back at some point for the winter edition 2024 discussion. Maybe probably most likely a mid uh, season review and then ending review, which I have to start working on. But bro, appreciate the conversation. What do you want to say to the guys for this season review?
Hope you guys enjoyed the discussion and let us know what you were watching if we didn't mention the show. I mean, we watched more than these, but these were the ones we wanted to highlight. But let us know what you thought. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, catch you guys later. Peace.
Goodbye.
You.